Before I answer that question, I have to ask you from Pat, because I just had an interview with him, what you had for breakfast this morning?
It was a donut it was a donut that I kept from a game I was at the other night, that was all.
Oh.
I was working as a reporter at that point, yeah.
So you came into the Liverpool building with
a donut, yeah.
with a donut from?
From another football team.
Okay.
Very nice, by the way.
Yeah? It's too many calories.
Not the most healthy.
Okay.
I was in a rush this morning.
Okay.
I woke up late.
So yeah, Newcastle signed, if it's true, and I have no reason not to believe what you are saying, a new number 9. So that's very nice for Eddie, because Anthony Gordon is suspended, and Isaac has not been training with the team a lot. So it's nice for him to have another number 9.
What about in general terms, though? How likely do you feel you are to add to your squad? Whether it's another striker, whether it's a centre-half, whatever.
No, I think I've said after Monday evening that again I could make a substitution that impacted the game. That's what Federico did against Bournemouth. That's what Rio did now against Newcastle. So as always, we tried to sign players that can help us, but there's no reason after the first 2 games to complain or to think we need more. But if we can strengthen the squad, then we will always try to do that if it's for the right money and it's the right player. And there are only 3-4 days to go now. So yeah, let's see if we do something, and if we do something, what we can do.
From the players that you're working with this weekend, and obviously it is a big game, what improvement do you feel you need to see that will give you the best chance of maintaining your own 100% record and ending Arsenal's?
No, the most simple answer to that is a lot, because we face a very strong team, and that was already really good last season, and I think I've improved their squad a lot during the summer. So yeah, and if you then look at all the quality they have, but especially one thing that stands out in the season till now, and what stands out in a negative way for us, is that we've conceded, if I include the Bilbao game, 4 set pieces. And of course, as we all know, that's one of their strengths, not the strength, but one of their strengths, because they can play in multiple ways. You can see how well they are managed by Miguel, and they're working for 5 years together, because they can play almost every style there is in football, and that tells you how well managed they are. But one of their strengths is also set pieces, and that is an area where we, if you look at Monday, when we faced Newcastle, we conceded 2, and against Bilbao we conceded 2. It's a part we need to improve. Where we, by the way, were really good at last season. So no panicking at all. We also had to defend at Newcastle 350 set pieces. So then only conceding 2 is not even so bad.
Obviously, both games against Arsenal finished in 2-2 draws, and I think against top 4 opposition, or the teams that finished in the top 4 last season, you took 11 points from a possible 18. I just wondered, even though it's such an early stage in the season, how important do you feel it is not to lose ground on a potential title rival?
Nah, not so much to do with losing ground, but it has to do with losing ground, but not that we play Arsenal. So it's more in the beginning of the season. You wanna normally teams don't play their best game unless you keep the same squad completely and you add 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Then you can maybe expect that the team is growing even further. If you look at our situation, we've lost a few, we've added a few, so then it's not starting all the way new again. But I think it's normal that we play even better, not better, but even better in a few months than we do, or in a few weeks than we do now. But in the meantime, you can't lose ground. Not a lot. Although I do think that it's. I would be surprised if there will be a point record this season in the Premier League. I would be surprised if one team gets more than 100 points because of the strength of the league. So you are able to drop once in a while a few points and still be competitive. I think in the end of the season. But the best thing you can do is not drop points at all.
Arne, just picking up on what you said there then, do you think that the league is more competitive noticeably this season than last season, based on what you just said?
If that's even possible, because it was already so competitive last season. But maybe I'm wrong, but I think in general teams spent more than last season. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm talking about net spend, not talking about what teams spent and forget then what they've sold, but in terms of net spend. But maybe I'm wrong. But last season we didn't do a lot, but I think our competitors didn't do a lot last season as well, and that's completely different this season.
Obviously, it's very early to make...
For the exception of Chelsea last season, maybe, but I think Arsenal, Man City didn't do so many signings last season. So that's the difference between this season.
What is it? Is it hamstring?
Yeah.
No surgery required?
No surgery. It's not as bad as the previous one. Obviously, very unfortunate to pick it up. It's in the other side. It's an action that requires full power from him. Then he clashes with the opponent. He needs to change pace again, and he felt something. So he will be out for a couple of weeks.
So do you hope, and I know you don't know because you're not a doctor, but do you hope that when you resume club football he might be available?
I don't know. Let's see how he evolves in the next few days, few weeks. Repeat the scan and see where he's at.
And with Martin, he's obviously been selected for his national squad. What's the situation with him?
We don't know yet. He hasn't trained yet, and if he does, it will be tomorrow. And let's see. He's doing everything he can. We're doing everything that we can to make him available, but we will have to wait and see tomorrow.
So that's definitely not serious.
No, well, there is an injury there, but hopefully, if everything goes well, he can cope with it. But we don't know yet.
So with Kai Havertz, we know he's had surgery. Is that weeks rather than months before he's recovered?
I think it will be weeks, but I don't know how many months. Very unfortunate, very sad for him. I think he did tremendously well to recover from the previous one. He's never had an injury before. And suddenly this happens. But this is our profession, part of football. We need to live with that. Obviously, we lose another big player for many, many weeks. But it was the right thing to do, and the doctor's advice. And I think he was very, very convinced at the end that it was the quickest and the best way to resolve that issue.
You did mention the word months there, so it could be months.
Yeah, every time there is a surgery, you expect something like this. So I leave that for the medical staff or himself to explain in detail what it was. But hopefully the most important thing is when he gets back, he's in good condition, and medium and long term we protect as well the player.
How disappointing is that? Three big names,
Yeah.
three big important names.
He just started the season and we lost three of our main players. But that's the reality, and very unfortunate situation, three very different situations. But that's why we keep insisting, like everybody else, you need a big squad to be able to cope and sustain the level.
And if that's not enough, Ben and Christian, I guess, are still doubts.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
So that's another two that we don't know yet. Again, tomorrow we have another day. Let's see how they evolve, and there is a chance to keep them involved in the game.
On the brighter side, Ebzeza has had a great week's training, fitted in really well. Tell us about his first week here.
Yeah, really impressed with him. I heard a lot of things about him. I spoke to a lot of people about him. Really bright, very special energy, a special aura around him, and yeah, really willing. He's already gathering a lot of information, the things that we want to see on that pitch, but especially make sure that he has the freedom and the capacity to express his quality, which is the reason why we brought him here.
Even more so than you'd heard in terms of his character, his personality, a great guy.
Yes, very impressed with that, yeah.
So straight in then, given the situation with Martin potentially as a number 10 at Anfield.
We have options in that position, and that's a good thing that we have this year. So let's see. As I said, another day, and I'm not going to give you any clues, obviously.
The fact that he adds to your ability to be unpredictable, that's one of the reasons you wanted him there, I guess.
Sure, and we have a lot of players now. They can play in different positions, and they can fulfill gaps when we have them. And looking at the start of the season that we already have with injuries, that's going to be very necessary. So very happy to have the ability to do that.
Hincapié. His name's been linked with you before the window closes. Bayer Leverkusen. Again, the fact that he's versatile is the kind of player you like.
You know the answer to that. I cannot talk about players that are not part of our squad.
I'll just ask you a supercomputer question before I finish.
Okay, sure.
The supercomputer tells me that it's the first time in 8 years that the top two teams the season before have face each other so early in the season. It's the earliest for 8 years. Is that a shame? Should it have been later in the season? Would you prefer it later in the season?
It's what it is. We have to play them. They are the champions. They are a champion for a reason, because they deserve to be champion. They were the better team last year, the most consistent one, the one that find ways to win in many different ways. And we want to be that team this year. And we need to go to Anfield with that spirit and that conviction.
Is the real thing.
The real thing indeed. The top two from last season set it up for us, because Liverpool-Arsenal clashes, the last 5, have given us 4 draws. They've been highly competitive. I think the only one produced a winner.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because the good news for Arsenal fans is they're unbeaten in the last 6 at Anfield. The bad news is that they haven't won at Anfield for 13 years. But on top of all of that, they go there in their best shape they've been in for a long time. Defensively, the best defence in the Premier League last season. I think not a lot of attention has been paid to the fact that Arsenal have invested in Zubimendi, who's an outstanding defensive midfielder, and Mosquera as well, the Spanish international centre-back. That kind of signing gives them the platform to allow the front 6 to go and do what they do best. And that's the reason why I give Arsenal a really good chance this weekend.
Well, let's talk about Liverpool, because naturally defending champions, and they've started really well, come through a very difficult game on Monday night with all the drama off-field as well, the Alexander Isak battle, and won 3-2. Rio Ngamoa, at such a young age, scoring such a big goal.
It's always important when you're a young player and you come into a game like that, you want to try and have an impact. What was amazing for me is the composure he took to put that in the back of the net, because it comes off a dummy. So that means he's got good chemistry with his players already. And the technique on the finish to just wrap it into the side netting without taking a touch, it just shows you how confident the young lad is.
I asked you before the show, when you made your debut, you were saying you were 17. You're in that moment, you've got the opportunity not just to score a goal, but the winning goal in a massive match. You will know what's going through his mind, won't you?
Yeah, you're just thinking, especially at a young age, work the keeper, hit the target, just try to make good connection. And he hit the ball exactly where he wanted it to go. And that isn't an easy chance. We've seen loads of regular, everyday professionals miss chances like that, and some even closer. But he knew exactly what he was doing. He anticipated that his player was going to dummy that ball as well. He knew with all his confidence how he was going to take that technically. And you can just see it. It's almost like he relaxed. We used to always say Núñez never takes his time, he never breathes. It's almost like as that ball was coming, he just went, took a deep breath and just stroked it, just looked for pure connection.
Yeah. One of the other positive points for Liverpool in that game was obviously Ekitike. I mean, he has hit the ground running in this league.
I think I like him as a player because they had... You know, the first thing I've got to say is that I was very surprised when Liverpool signed him, because it looked very much as though he was going to go to Newcastle as the replacement for Alexander Isak. And I thought it was all going to be very straightforward. And then Liverpool said, no, we're signing your replacement and we want Alexander Isak, which actually made me laugh. But the composure he shows here in the first 2 games says to me that he is going to be an upgrade on Darwin Núñez. If you think about the numbers of goals that Liverpool scored last season and the number of chances that Núñez missed, if they are converted like that by him, Liverpool are going to be formidable this season.
It's just crazy. Like, it's almost like they've carried on where they left off last season in terms of clinicalness in front of goal. They don't need that many chances or half chances to make them count. And I think in that Newcastle game, in many ways, it kind of showed that. There wasn't like loads and loads of chances on target, but the ones that they had, they truly tried to make count. And for me, the more I look at it and see everything, I don't now sitting here understand why they want to buy Isak. Really? I think, no, because they're too much of the same player, Darren. Like, normally, if you're a team, you have 2 strikers, yes, yeah. I get that. But one's a little bit different to the other.
Yes.
But when I watch these 2 strikers, they play so similar in terms of the way they move around the defences, the way they can come short link up, they can go behind, they can both dribble. They're both what? He's about 6'2" as well?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that, and it's kind of hard to sit here and debate with a guy who played with Didier Drogba. But I'm just, allow me, you know, if you're watching around the world, allow me for a second. I just think as far as they're concerned, if you think about, I want to cast your mind back to 1999 and Manchester United. They won the league with their Dwight York, 20-goal-a-season man, Andy Cole, 20-goal-a-season man, Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, both of whom were decisive in the Champions League final. And I think if you are going to win silverware, you have to have a pool of strikers. You can have one man, but if that one man is out, you're done. I think if you have two guys who can do a fabulous job, what you're doing is maintaining a standard.
I'm not saying don't sign a striker. I'm saying they don't need to be exactly the same.
I agree.
Because there's no real difference.
I just think Isak is the kind of striker you sign at any cost. Any cost. We saw that last season. He's decisive, he can score. He's a Thierry Henry type player. And I think
Ekitike is doing the same thing right now.
That's what everyone's saying about him. Yeah, he's giving
doing the same thing.
Yeah. They're coming for everything, Liverpool. Let's hear what Arne Slot and Mo Salah have to say about Ugo Ekitike.
The answer to what he can improve is his match fitness. So I expect him to do even a lot more without the ball than he already does, because he's already working hard. But yeah, there he can improve, which is completely normal because he has to adjust from a different league, from a different playing style. So Frankfurt wasn't as pressing as much as they pressed, but not as much as we tried to do. And then coming to a different country, coming to a different league, yeah, there's a lot for him to handle.
With Diogo or like Darwin and Lucho, I know where to find them, I know their game very well, but with Hugo he's still new, so sometimes he needs the ball in the feet, sometimes he needs it in the space. We try to figure that out through the training or like the videos the manager shows us. So, but I will figure it out soon, because also it's going to help my game to grow as well.
I think if there is any criticism of Liverpool in the opening two games, it's the goals that they've conceded.
Yeah, I think Konate's been a little bit wobbly. Kirkes hasn't hit the ground as well as people thought he would. But I think the massive key is Gravenberch and McAllister missing from in front of them. I think because of the fullback's goal, the centre-backs are pretty much left open with only one of them playing.
I'm so glad you said that, because lots of people feel that the solution is a Mark Gahey, for example, another centre-half, but it's the protection for the back four that they're lacking.
It helps them with their decisions, when to go, when to drop off. If they go past him, they can read that, so they can tackle that. So, but when it's not there, you're just running backwards, and as you can see in some games, it's just like swarms of players running at you, and it's hard to decide which one. Like, that goal is a bit different, but this one here, with Semenya running through, look, there's four of them and two defenders. Liverpool, you can't defend that. It doesn't matter how good you are. Konate, Virgil, you can't stop that.
So uncharacteristic of them as well. And a lot of those on the break. This one here from a set piece. What does that say about what's coming up on Sunday?
Well, it says that Arsenal can go into the match really confident. You have to go back to the last, 1925 for the last time they won their first three without conceding. But they do know where the goal is. And I think having Gyökeres means that Liverpool have got a different problem to the one they normally have each season when they play Arsenal. He's a threat, he's got movement, he's got physicality. You can probably speak far better than I can to why that will be an asset for them. But what he does also provide for them is a target in the 6-yard box.
And the hair flicks. Don't forget the hair.
I can't talk about that.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I really loved that, because there was this narrative building around Victor Gyökeres. Just hearing other fans saying, well, he's not as good, and, he had more touches of his hair against Man United than he did on the actual ball. How important was it for him to score those goals then? And also, how difficult is it for Arsenal to play with an actual number 9, to adapt to that?
Well, they're still... Listen, it's going to take them time to learn how to play with him. It's going to take him time to learn how to with them. The number of touches on the ball does not bother me in the slightest. We saw when Haaland arrived at Manchester City, there were games when he had single-figure touches on the ball and scored 2 or 3 goals. I think as long as those touches for him are decisive, nothing will matter.
Do you know who I think will benefit? Eze.
Yeah.
Because he's been used to playing with that target number 9, Mateta. And he plays those bounce passes, the 1-2s, and he plays them in. Gyökeres loves to run into space. Eze will create space for him and find those passes.
You've been a winger, so you know. What is it you're looking for in terms of the movement? Are they making your mind up for you, or are you trying to get them onto a tasty ball into the 6-yard box, 18-yard box?
A lot of wingers are different now, though, Darren. They want to take too many touches or they want to do a step over. Sometimes you can get the ball out your feet and put that ball in that dangerous area, and the strikers will go. People like Gyökeres, Sesko, Holland, they will go. It's when you take too many touches, it can kind of mess up their run, and then you see they're not in the box, they're not trying to go forward. It's because they don't know when the ball's coming. But if they know you're going to put that ball in, they go.
So the anticipation, you eventually develop that.
Didier just said to me, Sean, I know you do it anyway, but I just want to remind you, get the ball at your feet, put it in. Even if it's a bad ball, it'll make it a good one.
Listen, I know Mikel Arteta was pretty evasive today in his press conference. He didn't want to say too much because he's got Odegaard out injured. And, you know, they asked him, so Eze goes straight into 10, and he didn't want to say, but he probably does, right? He goes straight into the starting lineup at Anfield. And then what does that say to you about Arsenal's strength and depth now?
It's getting to the place where they've been wanting it to be. I think because normally people leave and they don't replace them, whereas now people are leaving, they're replacing and still building on top of that. And like Eze on top of what they've already brought in, like that's telling you they're in the run for this title. And it's going to take a lot to knock them off the perch. Because as Darren said, for me, over the last 2 or 3 years, they've probably had the best defence in the Premier League. And for whatever reason, they just can't win the Premier League. So this year, they've got the tools to do it. It's just whether they're all put together rightly.
OK, so ahead of the game, Mikel Arteta has been talking about the injury concerns and the depth of his squad.
I think in the previous season, we had the best record in the Premier League. The following season, we had one of the worst as well, because the extent, not the amount, but the extent of the injuries of certain players, especially Tomiyasu, Gabi Jesus, the long-term injuries we have with the hamstring injuries. So, yeah, we have looked at everything. We are continually monitoring and evolving the needs of the players and the schedule. But unfortunately, we pick very diverse injuries again.
Yeah, those injuries, Bukayo Saka gone out, hamstring injury, Odegaard out as well, first home game of the season, shoulder injury, and Kai Havertz, you got to explain this to me, because Kai Havertz has a knee injury, he's had surgery, and they're saying it's not serious.
Yeah, there's many ways to look at it. You can do little things to your knee. Some of them you just don't need an operation, you just need rest. But the one that I did have, which was my first proper ever injury, was I had my meniscus was starting to fray away. So they just go in and they kind of clean it up, make it all neat and tidy again. And it's normally like 2 pinholes and they just do it by camera. So I was, just over a month and I was back playing again. So if you're talking about operation, that's the only thing I can think of to a not serious knee injury.
OK, because when I heard that, I was like, this is dark arts. What are they doing here now? What are they doing? OK, let's move on.
I suppose down the years, this fixture always chucks up these kind of games, this excitement.
Storylines.
And Liverpool against Newcastle, Newcastle against Liverpool, it didn't disappoint. Liverpool taking a 2-goal lead. But how about this? Right at the end of the game.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Absolute. The whole move was incredible. By the way, before we go anyway, happy 17th birthday
today.
To Rio Engelmar. Today is his birthday. What a way to celebrate your 17th birthday. And let's just look at it in this way, right? His manager brings him off the bench at 2-2, late in the game to go and get you a goal. He's 16.
What I liked most about his performance was as soon as he got the ball, it was just run at the defender.
Yeah,
just go direct, straight, run. It was brilliant.
How about this for Rio Ferdinand on X, waking up to watching clips of Liverpool fans shouting, Rio, Rio. Congrats to the young man and his family. What a moment. Brilliant tongue.
But he took it like he's been scoring goals in the Premier League for years. Like, he just, no hesitation, just ball roll. And all the Szoboszlai dummy is
no scar tissue there for him, though, right?
Deserved an assist,
deserves an assist. Beautiful. But let's go into another. I can't lie, this show feeling Liverpool heavy, but
I don't like
Ekitike, 20
Champions,
seconds though. 20 seconds after the start of the second half, sharp. Me and Liv was watching this game together. And
Can you imagine Eddie Howe saying, just keep things tight at the start of the second half?
Nope. Look at this finish, though, man. Just first time.
Side foot.
Just in.
But I do wonder, come Monday, if a certain Alexander Isak maybe joins Liverpool, what that means for Hugo Ekitike, because he will not be playing through the middle.
competition,
I
man.
think he
He's playing on
stays
left.
there for a few games at least
Well,
until
while he gets
Isak
match
comes
fit,
on.
yeah, but-
And you never know, right? There was a time at Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers where you had Luis Suarez, Daniel Sturridge and Raheem Sterling, and they used to just interact. Wherever you found yourself up front,
Yeah.
you just played in that position. You never know. Arne Slot might have it as fluid as that.
Might have
Yeah,
to.
obviously it was so quick after the restart that Arne Slot wasn't even on the bench.
missed
Man
it.
missed the thing. So this is his explanation here.
I don't think my team has ever scored a goal so fast in the second half. But I heard people cheering and I thought this can never be enough for them to score. This can never be enough for us to get a red card. So I thought maybe the player comes in for Newcastle where the fans are a bit happy about.
Yeah.
And then I kept on walking and my assistant, we scored. I was like, oh, we scored. A very good goal again from Hugo again. Yeah.
Yes, that's crazy, isn't it? But this got me thinking, what of our FOMO moments, isn't it? So big moments that you've missed because you were out here doing something. So I missed Ebbs' first goal for Palace because I was in the toilet.
Talking to who in the toilet?
Talking to the toilet about how the toilets are too small at Palace. And all of a sudden the goal went in, yeah.
I don't think I've missed anything. I'm trying to think if I've missed like a big goal, but like I was so close to leaving when Chelsea played Man United last season when Cole Palmer scored the hat-trick and we won 4-3 in like the 110th minute.
Why was you... Why
we were 3-2 down.
Oh,
With
you
like
just gone-
5 minutes to go and we were like, well, but I did stay. But had I have missed that, I don't think I'd have ever forgiven myself. But I don't think I've actually ever missed a big goal or like, I'm sort of one of those people that will just stay to the end. Because I don't want to miss something.
I came that close. I literally put my foot on the top step and saw Divock Origi's first goal against Barcelona. That's how close I came.
No way.
Another 5 seconds, I would have missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
That counts, because
you
it
didn't
counts.
miss it.
But it's a near miss.
It's a near miss, yeah. We count in near misses.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing you've got?
Well, I was at the new camp one time working and I was walking to where the camera guy was and I missed Messi's goal.
I'd have been fuming
And I
if
was
I'd have missed it. I'd have been fuming if I'd have
That was
missed
the game
Messi's
before
goal.
the game.
The game before that game, yeah. But I saw the free kick though.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that was the main
It's
one.
crazy how universities... Because I was at that game as well in Barcelona.
And you didn't
Yeah, we didn't know each other.
Oh, man.
We didn't know each other. It's destined.
Destined,
Cute.
man. Destined.
Right, let's move it on, shall we, to the biggest game of the weekend. Chelsea against... No, I'm joking. Liverpool against Arsenal. But the big question is Abere Eze gonna start? Are we gonna see him for the very first time step on a football pitch in that Arsenal shirt playing for Arsenal? And is it gonna be at Anfield? I hope so.
I don't think he starts, but I think he should.
I agree with... I actually, to be honest, I think he's going to start. I think if Martin Odegaard is confirmed injured, which I think he is for this game, I think he slots in that number 10 at Anfield.
I think he plays Marino and Madueke.
So boring.
You know,
I know, but...
You know, in a funny way, I think his best position is going to be playing where Odegaard plays.
In that 10,
and
yeah.
I actually
Perfect
would be
opportunity.
saying...
Go straight
And it's
in.
not like he's not match fit.
Yeah.
He's had a good pre-season. You know, if the rumours we believe to be true that Alexander Isak is going to join Liverpool, I can see how and where
You
he
might
would
need a
need a
few
little bit of
games,
time.
yeah.
But I think Eze is ready to go straight in.
Yeah,
I suppose the other
Why
thing
would you
for
not
Arsenal...
play a number 10?
Because he played pre-season, he played in the Community
Yeah.
Shield.
He's
and he played
fit.
first. He's
Yeah,
fit.
he's fit.
The other thing for Arsenal is Saka might not be in either. And I think they need that extra creativity.
Yeah.
He's very different to Marino.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
no,
I
I
don't think
agree.
you can play with no Saka and no Odegaard and not have Eze.
I think, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know, but I just think Arteta will go steady first.
He will
try,
at Anfield.
try not lose at Anfield.
He most probably will at
I think it's
Anfield.
because it's like, don't lose. If you
Yeah,
can't go to
yeah.
Anfield and just don't lose the game, you could draw, but don't lose
Don't
it.
lose
Is a draw a good result for both teams?
It's a
It's a
good
better
result for
result for
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's a better result for
Yeah,
Arsenal, but
it's
is
a
it
good
a bad
result.
result for Liverpool?
No
No,
way.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
It depends how the game goes. I think.
It's a heavyweight clash. That's how I look at it. A heavyweight clash.
yeah,
If
I
you
suppose.
if you stay up, right, it's a good day.
Really interested in going into the game that Liverpool have looked bad defensively. Arsenal have been impeccable. Liverpool already conceded 4 goals. It must probably be 0-0, won't it?
Yeah, I know, it's one of them games that's got it written. All the anticipation, 0-0.
But it is one of the highest scoring Premier League games over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, which I find really hard to believe.
No,
Hard to believe.
I don't, because it's years of Liverpool spanking Arsenal.
I know, but I just think of both teams recently. I feel like, and maybe I'm just getting like the fixtures mixed up, but it doesn't ever feel like it's been a high-scoring game. But maybe it's 2-2, and it's like, yeah. So if my maths is correct, that's 8 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, it is.
But I just, for some reason, I think this game on Sunday is going to be defensive. I think it's going to be about the defences because, I mean, Kirkes is probably quite happy that Saka's not playing after Kirkes' performances at the back since he's joined.
Yeah, that's
a little bit. He's looking a little bit.
I think.
But coming up against Madueke, he might be all right.
Semenyo for Kirkes, bearing in mind they were teammates, I looked at that game and I saw Semenyo looking at Kirkes going, I have you all the time. I did it every day in training.
Every day.
Whereas I think now that he's got over that, he looked like he was keen and eager to impress. Other than his mistake for the goal against Newcastle the other day, he didn't play too badly.
No, I think just defensively, he's just looked a little bit nervous, and I think maybe we didn't notice it as much at Bournemouth, but I think when you play in a better team, you're probably going to notice it a little bit more. But I think, he's probably just come up against Madueke and he'll probably back himself in that.
Do you know who doesn't look nervous? Van Dijk looks incredible.
Oh, he's brilliant.
But that's because, do you know what Konate looks like next to him? Do you know what I mean?
You
thank God Van Dijk's nervous, not nervous, because if he was, you'd have conceded about 10. Yeah,
he was brilliant. I don't think he was particularly good against Bournemouth.
Who?
He wasn't
Van Dijk?
Van Dijk. He wasn't great in the Community Shield game. He looked back to his imperious best against Newcastle. He really did.
I'm looking forward to that, but it's time.
Indumentaria, la Kings Limited Gold Edition. Solo hay 50 unidades de todos los equipos y también puede ser vuestra entrando en kingsleague.pro. Así que es los datos a tener en cuenta en cuanto a indumentarias. Gran partido, Gonzalo, Gerard, el que tenemos por delante.
Ojo, estilo La Bombonera, estadio de River.
Hostia, más minutos de retraso en el inicio, ¿eh? Ya tenemos lío.
Lo llamó Edo, dibujando la parábola sobre la banda derecha, donde en el vértice del área aparece Nadir. ¡Nadir para adentro! ¡Gol! De Nadir Lua, que tiene una facilidad pasmosa. Encuentra a Pablo, qué balón para Nadir para el segundo. Se zafa de Cócera, es un golazo. ¡Es un golazo! Señoras, señores, bienvenidos al show de Nadir Lua. Pibe.
El mejor.
Vamos
haciendo espionaje, ¿eh?
Vaya mierda dado, pibe. Va, ya te puedes ir a la cúpula a comer, va.
Hay que salir Cócera para entregar hacia el centro. Se la regala Coy, le puede pegar Coy para adentro.
Vaya chicha, nano.
¡Gol! De Porcinos Óscar Coy. Pues sí.
Pero es que, señores.
No te lo dije, hombre.
Tenemos, ¿cómo lo usamos?
Penalti.
Será penalti.
Puede meter en el partido a Cuni. Jordi para adentro, qué golazo.
¡Wow!
¡Dios! ¡Gol! Vamos con Nadir Lua y con Laura Vizcaíno.
Pues sí, Nadir, 2 goles, victoria y a cuartos. Enhorabuena.
Sí, sabíamos que el partido iba a ser muy importante porque veníamos de una muy mala dinámica. El equipo ha estado bien, sufríamos defensivamente y creo que hemos estado muy juntitos. Y nada, primer objetivo cumplido.
Os espera Science, rival complicado, imagino.
Sí, empatamos contra ellos y en shootout perdimos. Ha quedado segundo por algo. Nada, concentración, confianza con nosotros mismos y intentar ganar para el sábado estar en el Wizzing.
Os lo veremos mañana. Mucha suerte.